Okay, we're going to skip to the box expansions, and we'll tack on the extras at the end of the fourth expansion. And by extras, I just mean the component, the extra plastic upgrade component pack, and the 3 mil cardboard. Although I did go into that rather detailed in the unboxing for the base game, so we can just touch on that briefly at the end. But what we'll do is we'll get right into the expansions. And having said that, this one here is the power pack. This will be the first one we'll look at, and the reason for that is that this is the stretch goal box. And what I mean by that is that this was, all of these components were added on as the Kickstarter campaign was unfolding, as certain targets were met. But I really believe that these were always meant to be the first expansion and included with the base game just the same. I know there were some differences in the content between what is actually in this box and what was kicked out as the stretch goals, because some of those things like John Dark, I think he was listed as being in this but wound up in the base game anyways. But either way, all of the expansions contain the pretty much identical amount of components with some small variations. So for example, this one here contains a deck of cards which has 10 gift cards, 2 new Legion cards to make things even more difficult and varied for the demons. There's a couple of maps. There's of course it's double-sided. There's Purgatory and Final Battle, although here it says on the back of the box Inferno. There are 4 region cards. You've got Japan, Israel, Australia, and Brazil. And you've got 46 trooper cards that are the same size as the gift cards, right? The 46 trooper cards directly correlate to the new region cards, right? So you've got new trooper types that are directly tied into the regions and representing either local gangs or different types of paramilitary or straight up military units that are associated with those regions. So it adds a little bit more global spice to the game, and I find that really cool. You've got 2 new heroes here, Doc Hunter and Sissy Salem, 3 new Fourth Circle demons, and 2 demon lords, right? So let's get right at looking at the contents here. So we'll open this guy up, and right away we've got 3 of the new data sheets for the Fourth Circle demons. You've got the Bellatrix, which is a really cool model. We'll take a look at that later. As you can see from the artwork here, it's kind of got a busted up Greco-Roman statue that's been ransacked through the various pillaging that went on in the Middle Ages. Although it also looks like it's been chopped up and dismembered. So again, not for the squeamish, but looks really cool. It's got an ability, this Berserker Gang, so it can attack all heroes in an area equally, right? So not just one. So that's pretty cool, and it's rather tough. It's got toughness 5. Then you've got the Filter, right? I'll call this guy Phil. It's the first thing I thought of when I look at this. So this guy is kind of like what he does is he increases the toughness of all minions that are in his area by 1, or in play rather. Although he's not exactly the toughest, you still have to get 2 hits on him. But toughness 2 kind of helps to mitigate some of the nasty damage that the minions will be causing as they're a lot more robust. And then you've got the Tardigrade. And the Tardigrade is a pretty cool looking model as well. All these faces coming out of this creature that actually looks like a Tardigrade. And it's got this rather nasty ability that once it's killed, you place the Sys token that comes in this. Again, there's a plastic upgrade for that, get to that later, into the area. And then the next time there's a Fourth Circle demon that spawns, you replace the Sys token with the Tardigrade again, right? So it comes back and it kind of ties into the actual indestructibility of the Tardigrade, the creature that exists out in the world. So those are the data sheets, and you've got a couple of data sheets for the new lords. You've got Lord Argus here, covered in eyeballs, very frightening. That it's even seeing more from beyond the veil, that kind of thing. Instantly spawns a second circle minion as part of its menace, and then all minions accompanying Argus combine their attacks into one attack along with him, rolling all dice together instead of attacking by groups. So that's pretty nasty. So and I'm gonna have to check the FAQ on that and see if you have to choose one target for all of those. So which would make a difference in how you're going to play this thing in Helltime. So again, adding a different set of strategies and rules to these lords, which will make how you play the game a little bit different. So good strategy on that. I like that. And then the Lord Geryon or Geryon, or I'll just call him Jerry. It's saying him is probably incorrect. This is a mixture, a combination of 3 humans that were turned into this thing at once, and with some interesting abilities. Basically, what they'll do instantly with the menace, each hero loses 1 luck, 1 courage, and 1 health, regardless of how many of these are alive. So, instantly losing one of each of the 3 valuable currencies that the heroes rely on. And then over the course of the turn, depending on how many of these heads are alive, if anybody's injured, they're going to lose more of that currency. So it's certainly dangerous instantly, and then dangerous to stick around. Each one of the heads has its own health track. So interesting to see how it'll be to defeat this one as well. It looks pretty cool. Again, those are all, all of this cardboard stuff, is going to be are all upgraded. So these are cool extras to have in case of damage. Characters, Sissy Salem, the goth girl. So I think the youth being the overriding factor on this character, as she can, throughout most of these abilities, sacrifice health for courage, or whenever courage is needed, to use health as a currency instead. So that's pretty cool. The thing that jumped out at me the most about this character is the second upgrade here. Ability is right away add a D10 token to your attack box, and she starts with a D4, so that's a pretty quick upgrade to have. A very good die to have, especially when you're fighting fiends, and you need a 7, right? So your D6s and D4s aren't doing anything against those, so really handy to have that. So good character there. And then Doc Hunter, your classic healer, doctor character. Right away the starting ability. Restore +1 health in addition to first aid, stim packs, spend luck to add 1 to another hero's health, give up first aid to kill a limbo minion. So that's a really cool addition, is to have an offensive healing ability, right? So I kind of like that. I'm looking forward to using him because you can never have enough healers in your group. Moving along, we've got the map card. Again, it's not really needed because you have it in the rule book, but to keep you from thumbing around, each one of the maps in the expansions adds quite a bit of difference into how you play the game. The base game, it's hard enough. I have yet to beat it. Played it a couple of times. Very vanilla. I couldn't imagine adding any more difficulty to it at this point until I smarten up and play the game a little bit better. But this will give you everything you need to know to play these. And having said that, we can open them up. It's a circular, 2-sided map, so you get 2 maps. First one, Invasion of Purgatory. Heroes start out in the Earth spot, and they can move around freely to any of these areas. Each one contains a lesser lord, which the rules, I briefly looked at them. They start with 1/3 health as opposed to full health. But it's cool. You'll be able to get more of those miniatures out on the board and in use, right? So because there are a lot. If you got all the expansions, there's quite a few. Even if you don't, it's just cool to get more of them out. A little bit dummied down. Treat them more like a 4th circle demon. So looking forward to trying this one. And then you've got on the other side the final battle. This map's got a lot more interesting movement and gate. There's different paths to take down to get out to the final start zone. So you gotta watch how this is moving around with with your minions and demons and of course the Lord, right? So looking forward to trying this out. The artwork is, again, it's top shelf on both sides. I like the look of this one. Looking forward to trying that. So that we get into the box here, we've got your deck of cards with your, as you can see without opening it, you've got the special self-defense force. This is from Japan region. Add their ambush to your attack, then discard them. So I got really cool abilities on each one, and you've got new gifts. Looking forward to trying those. Hopefully there's some more powerful ones in there. Looking forward to that. Region cards give you a breakdown. You have, as mentioned before, different regions of the world with special defense force, self-defense, police, paramilitary, yakuza. So gangs, everybody getting involved. You've got the CIS token for the tardigrade. Characters. Here's the mini for Sissy Salem, right? So pretty cool. She's got a rocket launcher here. Backup rockets in there. Neat looking dress. She's kind of Doesn't look like she's dressed up for combat, but nonetheless, any woman walking around with a rocket launcher should be treated accordingly, right? So looking forward to getting her out there with that D10. And that's, probably evocative of these rockets. So hopefully she can do some damage. Doc Hunter here has got his med pack, his bone saw on the side of him. He's got this pistol up here. He looks like he's ready for business. So looking forward to trying him out too. Really cool. Again, the minis are good, especially for the characters. They're smaller. Good solid plastic. 4 Circle Demons, the Bellatrix. This one looks really cool. Again, that's the one with the the dismembered body, kind of with that leg cut off with an eyeball, maybe bone. I don't know what to make of half of these things, but this one looks really cool. Very creepy. Like this demon is creeping along with this dismembered woman's body statue in place of a head. So scary stuff. Obviously, goes without saying. Next here, the tardigrade looks kind of like what you'd imagine a tardigrade would look like, especially a fully grown one, minus all the faces trying to come out of it, coming out of its mouth, coming out the side of its body. Again, really like the idea that this thing can survive anywhere. As I mentioned, I think they're indestructible tardigrades. So by this thing coming back to life after you kill it, fearsome. So to pull that out of the deck, I like to draw the 4 Circle Demons randomly. Definitely some added fear when that one comes out. Then you got Phil over here, Filter. This guy, he's kind of like the roided up Grillus. And there's a little blurb somewhere in the game about all of them piping up when he was showing up, walking on his hands here. Looks quite scary, and I like his ability. I think it's pretty cool, and I'm interested to see how well it works. So again, a really cool mini. Like all of them, I like this one quite a bit. Then we've got the Lords here. We're going to look at Lord Argus, all the eyeballs in good detail all over the body. So no matter where you are, he sees you, and you get the idea that he was looking at you before he showed up. Really cool. Some little bit of contorting there in the arm. I like his head and his eyeballs, which are markedly different than, or maybe not. They kind of look like the other ones that are all over the place, but really neat. Looking forward to trying that guy out. And then my favorite one of the whole lot here, Jerry. I'm going to call him Jerry, Lord Garion or Jerian. These are the 3 people, the doctor couple and their doctor buddy they're all sort of melded together and twisted together into this form of demon that it's got all kinds of it looks like half dismembered or whatnot, but again, really cool and fearsome. So I'd like to get all more of these lords out, especially on that purgatory map, and get going on that. So there you go. That would be the power pack, and what we're going to do is we're going to skip along to the dragon pack next and see what that one has. Thanks.